this button keeps unbuttoning, so if my chest is showing, my bad.
That's for all the aunties out there.
It's out for the aunties out there under res, bro. Just got all the aunties. Is it recording?
Yeah, we're live.
Oh man, it's gonna be part of the spoofs or something, bro. Are you gonna have one of those?
I might, yeah.
Okay, cool.
The TikTok clips. So,
That's gonna be funny. That's gonna be funny.
I'll clip that.
Dope. All right.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming out and being patient with me. And I really wanted you to be my first interview because I feel like you and I were akin. We're both young guys. We both kind of got started in a similar way, where we were attracted to the culture through other means like music and then we just dove in and we realized that we didn't have elders necessarily on our shoulder showing us the way, but that didn't stop us. And I love and I appreciate that about you. So thank you for coming out and being my first interview for Drum Circle News.
No, of course. I just want to say thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for reaching out. And like I always say, there's no mistake. There are no mistakes. For example, we're out here instead of the library.
Yeah.
There's medicine all over. We got red-tailed hawks. We got black sage.
Yeah.
We're outside next to the Tree Nation. Right here at the grass. Like, doesn't beat anything like this, man.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you again.
Yeah. So you just got back from, you said fire holding?
Yes, I was firekeeping at a festival, Lightning in a Bottle in Bakersfield. It's been happening for, I believe this is the 21st year they've had it. And I've personally been there for three times, 2019, 2023, and 2024. But each year has been a completely different experience for me. And first year was just as a participant. Second year was full on operations production, out there for a month, working.
A month?
Yeah.
So what's lightning in a bottle? It sounds insane. Sounds like you're out there charged up.
It's, I mean, it depends. It depends on the context. It depends, like anything else, what you surround yourself with, right?
Yeah.
It's really, it's a camp out festival. There's electronic music. There's live bands. There's artists. It's a very beautiful, interactive festival where
I've been to like a full moon festival out before. They do like a week-long type of deal.
Very similar. Very similar. It's interesting because there's just a full moon on Thursday. So that does happen. That energy is very present. But like anywhere else, you have both sides of the spectrum.
So this is EDM.
There's EDM, live music. It's all kinds of things. The beautiful part about it is that in the mornings, there's a lot of holistic workshops happening, whether it's education on permaculture, on the aspects of water, another elders coming from all over the place. To be more specific, we have elders from the Diné Nation, from Hawaii, from up north in Washington. I don't know the exact names, and we also have an elder from that land, the Tejon tribe, I believe, who blesses the land every single day when the sun's about to set, which is the time we actually light up the fire.
Oh, man.
Yeah, from sunset to sunrise, we always have the sacred fire. That's what it's called, on their night, to keep the place grounded and cleared. And as we like to call the sacred fire, the heart of the festival. So it's a beautiful space for people to take a break from the chaos that's happening around the festivities, to come and reflect and pray and just ground and be. And to kind of come in full closure with my experiences this year, I decided to not go out there for a month because I have all these other projects, but the fire called me to go back. So I'm going to say yes. Of course, if I'm being called to go keep fire, that's an opportunity to not only practice, but also to be praying every single day to bring that medicine to people that need it within that space. And a lot of people that go into these locations, they have no idea about anything about this. They just see a fire, but there's a connection, there's a medicine, there's a culture and teachings behind it. And that's how we're there, to provide that in a very, I guess you could say, expansive, universal way where they can understand.
So yeah, and the Mexica culture, fire is really important, right? Where you're giving your energies to the fire, whether they're like good or bad, and it's like a purification kind of thing.
100%, 100%, and not just Mexica, but in my opinion, like the whole human race. So one thing I like to educate people on is this fire here, this elemental is conscious. It's alive in ways where we can't understand it, and at the same time, it connects to every single human around the world. Doesn't matter what nation you're from. Doesn't matter where you come from. We all come from the same fireplace. All of our ancestors shared the same technology. If anything, this fire is a representation of our sun, the father, the element of the fire here to transmute it, to bring life. So this is why we call it grandfather fire. And the list goes on. There's so many creation stories. And like I said, it's not just Mexica, but there's a commonality with all cultures around the world. So
that's amazing. So I guess we never officially introduced you to the camera. We just we're connected, and so I didn't think about it. But Sal, right? And you also go by Cosmic. And so how would you describe yourself to someone who's never met you? What's your...
It really depends on the context. Like, what's our setting, right? Where are we? In a professional setting, I'm gonna say my full name. Hello, my name is Salvador. I'm gonna give them the handshake.
Right.
If we're in ceremony, then I'll say my ceremony name, Chalchi Huitzili, which is after I got my tonali from it's in Nahuatl, which means jade hummingbird. So Chalchi means jade. Huitzili, in other words, Huitzilin is hummingbird, but together, Chalchi Huitzili. And that was given to me after being in service for many years. I never really exposed it like that. And even online per se, I don't have my full name out there because I work with all kinds of people, and that's to break confidentiality. I don't want a lot of those people within that business world to know what exactly I do in these ways of life.
That's interesting. So why would that be?
It depends.
Do you feel like it's like, so you're working within like a predominantly white setting that, you don't necessarily want to present yourself in that manner, or is it...
It's more of working with kids, working with kids, but it's more of like the parents. I don't want the parents to find me out there in the world and they see this, and not everybody knows about this. They see something like this, like, oh, what is this guy doing? If we all have prejudice. It's a normal, natural thing. It's a human trait. And for people that have no clue, like if they see your shirt, they'll just see a shirt. But me, I'm like, oh, that's a beautiful regalia they're wearing, brother. I know that comes from, I'm just gonna assume here, probably Mexico.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's just like noticing the patterns, noticing some of the artwork that you have on. I know where it comes from, somewhere from Turtle Island, right? Same thing with my shirt. Comes from Mexico too, Michoacan to be more specific. And primarily it's just us now that the children, the kids, teenagers, doesn't matter what age, they have the power of the phone. In other words, they're exposed to a lot of things, and that's the last thing I want the kids to find is me, and then they see my life that's a little bit more private, right? Same thing. I work in facilities with people that are recovering from drugs and alcohol. And that's another thing. I want to keep this side of my life private from that, even though it's not private. It's just my name isn't really out there.
I understand, especially when you're talking about ceremony and people who aren't familiar with that. Some people might have a different interpretation about what's going on. And,
exactly.
It is kind of sad. Some people might even look at it and be like, oh, that's witchcraft. And then they don't even understand that it's just healing. And it's the same as almost meditation or connecting and praying to God. Like if you're a Christian and you're going to church, the Temescal, the ceremonies you do, I would equate that to like a church-like ceremony, but in a different way. And so if you wanted to speak about that, I'd love to hear about the different ceremonies you're doing and how you got into that.
Absolutely. And I'll actually, before I jump into that, I would actually start with where everything started really, and how this path that I'm on, this red road, this yellow road, this white road, this black road, there's so many roads, but this way of life, walking in beauty, as I like to call, and unfolded organically in my life through the sport of lacrosse. Not a lot of people know what it is. Not a lot of us know what it is, because it's looked at as a rich sport, but in reality, it's an indigenous sport.
Yeah, the stick games.
The stick game.
We have stick games up north of the Yurok tribe. We do that every year. So I definitely,